Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Hello, we're back with the Metal Matt Show here on Metal Stream Radio. This is my second show of this year in 2026. It's great to be here. Great, the heavy metal is still rolling. I'm seeing lots of announcements for tours and things like that. So I think it's going to be a good heavy metal year. And like I say, yeah, you're here now for the Metal Matt Show here on Metal Stream Radio, where I'm here to talk heavy metal, play lots of heavy metal, and sometimes interviews with various rock stars and stuff that I've done. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. I'm here every Friday and Saturday, so be sure to come along every week, have a listen, and it's always exciting. We've always got lots of cool things going on here on the station and on my show. So yeah, it's great to be here another week. And yeah, some exciting news for me right now is I've just bought tickets for the Hollywood Vampires. You may know features Alice Cooper, which is my favourite. Growing up, you know, Alice was all I listened to. And yeah, I love all his work, you know, with the original Alice Cooper band and his solo stuff, From the Inside and Dragon Town, Brutal Planet, Raise Your Fist and Yell, $1 Billion Babies, so many great albums. But this is a bit different because it's the Hollywood Vampires. So it's Johnny Depp on guitar and Joe Perry from Aerosmith, of course, and Alice Cooper too. And I think Tommy Henriksen, who plays in the normal Alice Cooper band as well, he's like the other guitar player. And I'm not sure who the drummer is actually with this band. I don't know if it's the same drummer as Alice has, Glenn Sobel. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, the main guys, obviously Alice, Johnny Depp, Joe Perry and Tommy. So yeah, excited to see them. I used to be a bit kind of reluctant because I thought, oh, it's like a Hollywood thing. It's a bit too kind of easy to do something like that, you know, a kind of get a load of rock stars together and sell tickets kind of thing. But this one's in a castle, the Cardiff Castle, and I'm in Mexico right now, so I'm going to England and Cardiff later in the year. Wales obviously is Cardiff. Cardiff's in Wales, but not far from where I am in Bristol. When I'm there, so yeah, easy trip for me from Bristol, and yeah, it's exciting because it's in Cardiff Castle. That's what kind of made me think, yeah, I'll definitely get a ticket, because really I'd probably prefer to just see Alice Cooper. I'm not kind of worried about everyone else, Joe Perry and Johnny Depp and that, but it will be cool. I mean, because it is Johnny Depp. You know, I've always thought, I don't know how much of a real rock star he is, because it's so easy to just be Johnny Depp and turn up and strum a few chords and try and look cool, you know. But I thought I'll give it my time. I'll see what they're actually like in concert, because you know, I think it will be a cool show, and I'm sure they've been going for quite a few years now, so they must have a good show, have a good performance, you know. I've seen Alice Cooper many times now. I think Bristol, Cardiff once before, and Swansea I've seen Alice Cooper, and yeah, fantastic performances. But this will be my first time with my wife, who's joining me, who's also well, she's Mexican, so she's also coming with me, and it's going to be exciting because she's not been to sort of rock concerts, I don't think, really. So yeah, she's not really been to any, so this is going to be quite fun. And a good way to start with some, you know, Johnny Depp, which I'm sure she'll be happy about, and Alice. You know, she knows my love for Alice, and she's become quite a fan of Alice. She likes the song "You and Me," the kind of romantic ones, you know, "You and Me," and I think there's another one she likes, but I can't remember now. But yeah, but I love all of Alice's stuff. You know, I've always been a big fan and follower of his work. So yeah, it's very exciting. It's something to look forward to. It's going to be nice going back to England and seeing a few gigs, and then coming back to Mexico, because I don't really see many gigs here. But there is some other exciting news for me anyway, and anyone who's out here in Mexico. Tim Ripper Owens is doing a bit of a Mexico tour at the moment, particularly in the area I am. He's doing Cancun, Playa del Carmen, I believe, and I think he's going on to Merida, kind of the Yucatan Peninsula kind of thing, quite a few dates around the Yucatan area, and I'm going to the Cancun show because that's where I am right now, so That's on the 4th of February, I believe, so that's exciting because nobody really comes down to Cancun. You get a lot of rock artists coming to maybe Mexico City and Monterrey, which is a bit of a trek from here. It's not really the same area, so not so easy. But having Ripper come, Ripper who sang with Judas Priest and KK's Priest and Iced Earth, coming down here to do a solo show is very exciting. I've met him lots of times and hung out with him with KK on the last KK's Priest tour they did in Birmingham. Actually, when they come to Birmingham, we had a drink. Me and my friend and KK and his manager, and Ripper was kind of on the next table with all his friends, Americans and stuff. So it was kind of like two separate things. He was with all his friends, and I was with KK and my friend and his manager, and just shooting the breeze and having some Guinness and things. It was really surreal. Straight after the KK's Priest show in Birmingham, so that was a real treat. But this will be my first time seeing him since then, so that's going to be fun. I think that was just before I got married, so like 3 years ago, I think it is. About 3 years ago or something. So it's been a bit of a while since I saw Ripper, and fantastic show. I'm a big fan of Rob Halford, and obviously he's my favourite as much as I think anyone's with Judas Priest. Most people want to hear the Rob Halford stuff because he's kind of the voice of Judas Priest, But Ripper is fantastic. You hear him live, it's fantastic. And he can really, scream it out and do some great vocals, and kind of a different experience to what Rob is live. Ripper's kind of a beast, a live kind of metal beast kind of performance. It's going to be really heavy, really full on and powerful. And then Rob's kind of got a bit more depth. Whenever you see Judas Priest live, obviously the songs are, you got like Beyond the Realms of Death, where he showcases his beautiful, normal kind of vocals, his beautiful side of his voice. And then, other songs, he'll be screaming it out, like Devil's Child, or, there's plenty, Victim of Changes. But he's good. Rob's very versatile with his voice, and, a Priest show is a kind of a different experience, I think, to Ripper's show and KK's Priest. It's very full on. Ripper's kind of, if you wanted to kind of say this guy's a heavy metal vocalist, you would look towards Ripper. I think he's he does kind of epitomise what a heavy metal vocalist should be, but I love the versatility of Rob and the kind of broad spectrum of stuff he can cover, with his voice. And they're both sensational singers anyway, and I'm just glad Ripper's coming down here. It's going to be fun. Hopefully I'll get an interview for the Metal Stream Radio if he gets time. I'm going to be chasing him up, trying to get an interview. So I try my best over here for Metal Stream Radio to get some special guests on here. We've had some cool guests in the past: Dennis Dunaway and Ryan Roxy, Kane Roberts, Doug Aldrich. I've done lots of interviews with those guys, and I put that on my show from time to time. So it's worth tuning in here every week, because you never know what special guests might pop up, and always some cool people might introduce the show and things. We got Satchel, obviously, a Steel Panther. He's done a great little message for my show, so that's really cool, which you'll hear throughout the show today. I'm here for 2 hours, like I say, just talking heavy metal, playing heavy metal, and on that note, I'm gonna play some heavy metal. And as we were talking about Judas Priest, I'm gonna go right back to the Killing Machine album. I think it was known as Killing Machine, but also known as the Hellbent for Leather album. I'm pretty sure it was released with both titles at some point. I don't know, but I sort of see it as the Killing Machine. I think most people know it as the Killing Machine album. And this is a great little song off that one, which you don't really hear of much, but Rob's got great vocals, a really cool song, and it's a little song called Burning Up. So let's get started. Get ready, guys, this is Burning Up.
You stitch me up good and you cut me down, so I string you up to keep you hanging around. You dish the hot stuff up, but you keep me waiting, so I'll play it dirty till your body is breaking. We've got to make love, the time is right. We've got to make love tonight. 'Cause we're
so I see straight through you.
You cool me off and hot me up, and that's not right. Guess you'll get hungry in the heat of the night. And then we'll make love just when it's right. And when we make love tonight, we'll be burning up. The same, I know you feel the flame stirring deep inside of you, burning you up, breaking you down, breaking you out in a cold sweat. And as you lose control of your very soul, your desire takes over. You'll feel the heat sway your arms are my way, and suddenly you'll know that you're burning up. Me up good and you cut me down, so I string you up to keep you hanging around. You dish the hot stuff up, but you keep me waiting, so I'll play it dirty till your body is breaking. We've got to make love, the time is right. We've got to make love tonight, 'cause we're burning up.
Wicked. Love that vocal. Now it's time for a bit of Forgotten Generation. That's a bit of Holford there with Forgotten Generation. That's Holford solo with his Holford band. Really, really cool song, and some great music he made with that band. And before that, it was Judas Priest with Rob Halford on vocals, Burning Up. Another great song, Killing Machine album. Love Judas Priest, but we got a lot of stuff to play today. Some Dio, probably some Sabbath, some other stuff, lots of metal. Lots of nice surprises. And I thought next up I'd share a little something with you, kind of an exclusive before it's released. It's a new song by me, Metal Matt. I do a lot of heavy metal music, that's why I'm Metal Matt, and Rob Halford gave me that name, so I wear it proudly. I try and keep true to the classic heavy metal, make lots of kind of cool heavy metal music, but I also am very open to other genres and quite have eclectic kind of music taste. I like a variation of music. I like kind of a 80s synth pop, and I love heavy metal too, so I kind of keep it broad, a broad spectrum musically, and keep my options open. And I was given a synth pop song, kind of synth pop, bit obscure kind of track by one of my collaborators, Sophia. I said to her I wouldn't mind doing some synth pop stuff, and she sent me over a track she came out with, and I worked on that yesterday, and it's going to be released very soon to all the platforms, Spotify, iTunes, whatever, all that kind of stuff, YouTube. It's going to be out very soon, so keep your eyes peeled. But I thought I'd play it for you now as an exclusive, and kind of talk about the process of what I was thinking going through it. I kind of had it come to me to write something about kind of getting at one with nature, with the earth, grounding yourself, away from technology, away from phones, because obviously this day and age is quite a big thing that everyone's kind of on their phones, and also technology advancements are ever increasing. We got AI now doing everything for everyone, kind of making everyone even lazier than they were already, and much more as we all know, digital IDs, talking digital IDs and everything digital, and it's kind of a song about grounding yourself with the earth, taking your shoes off, taking your socks off, just putting your feet through the grass, grounding yourself, grounding they call it, and it's something I like to do over here in Mexico, just walk barefoot and ground yourself with the earth, with the dirt, and just, it kind of awakens something in your body, you feel the difference, and just in general about going out in nature and embracing the stories the trees have to tell and things like that. It's kind of that kind of thing, and it's a little song called Dancing with the Pixies, so by me, Metal Matt. Thought I'd share it with you. Don't worry, we got lots of heavy metal on the show today, but this one kind of isn't, but it does have some kind of high notes and stuff. It's still got a bit of my heavy metal vocal that you may know, but it's kind of put to a different style. After this we got tons of heavy metal, but I just wanted to share it as an exclusive for the Metal Matt fans out there, and here we go with Dance with the Pixies. Hope you enjoy it. It's pretty obscure, pretty weird, and but at least it's real. I'm not manufactured and one of these products kind of instrumental people, musicians, it's all real with me, so check out this.
Fruit upon a tree.
There we have it. Bit of Dance with the Pixies. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. It's something a bit different. I'm always trying new things, but when I'm back in England for a little bit, I'm planning to get in the studio and record a couple of tracks, high quality, studio jobs, which would be fun. Maybe one track, maybe two, something like that. Not too many, but I just want to get in the studio, have some fun, and kind of record something. I'm kind of excited for that. So hopefully that's going to work out when I get to England and have some new, it will be rock or metal, definitely that kind of vibe, because that's what I really want to get in the studio and do some screaming and some heavy riffs and stuff, like I did with the Changes in You song. It'd be kind of like that kind of thing I'm aiming for. Don't know if you guys know my song Changes in You, but some of you will, and it's you'll probably agree it's quite a good song musically, production wise very kind of high quality, so that was nice to do, because a lot of the music I do like virtually and from a distance, working from home and stuff, so it's nice to sometimes get in the studio and do it properly and kind of really put your head into it. I'm drafting out a few lyrics at the moment while I'm here, so that's fun. Got some fun ideas for you guys for the future, so that's going to be fun to see what comes along, but yeah, lots of exciting things to come, and also I don't know if we've got any Steel Panther fans, but there is a tour coming. I believe they're playing quite a few venues in England, London, Bristol, and a few others. Unfortunately, I'm arriving too late to England to see them, which I'm gutted about, because I always try and see Steel Panther when they come to town. They're one of my favourite bands to see live. They put on one hell of a show. It's always fun, it's always a lot of fun, guaranteed kind of thing. You just know you're going to have fun. If you're going to a Steel Panther show, it's always just insane, So very excited for that. And right, I'm going to play a little song now, another one by me, because I thought, well, I'll give you a bit of a contrast. This one's a bit more metal and heavy, and it's one I did with JJ Brown. He's on guest vocals doing his kind of growls. JJ from Rob Halford's Fight band, great band Rob did in the 90s, when he left Judas Priest. He did some stuff with this band Fight, which he formed, and JJ was the bass player, and he did some great heavy metal growls, and he's doing a bit of that kind of thing on my song, which is really cool. We worked together quite a lot over the past year, and I believe it's another little exclusive. We should have a little version of Touch of Evil soon, which is just a vocal cover kind of thing. We did Devil's Child a while ago, which was a full cover, guitars and bass and everything, the works composed by us, but I'm planning to do a little thing for YouTube, just with a backing track that I found for Touch of Evil, just for YouTube kind of thing soon, which JJ's hopefully going to guest on as well with some growls, make it kind of a bit fight-like, he seems to be up for jumping on my projects quite a lot, and especially if there's kind of priest-related and stuff. I guess it's nice for him to kind of relive some of the priests, because he did do a few priest songs. Fight would perform a few priest songs, and that Devil's Child and Free Will Burning occasionally, so I expect it's fun for him, and I'm glad he likes working with me. I try to do the Holford screams and stuff the best I can, and also do things my own style as well, and I'm glad he's up for working on me. And this song has been top voted. I keep doing votes on my channel on YouTube to see which song people like the most in my catalogue. So I've done a lot of stuff, and I had over 100 votes the other day, and pretty much 99%, which was surprising, because I had 4 options, voted for this song, and I've just done another vote with this song and some other different songs to see which gets the vote, and this one's in the lead again, and it's at 50 votes at the moment. So yeah, this one seems to have really went down well, so thought I'd share it with you. It's called Devil in Disguise, and I'm glad that one of my newer songs is so popular, because some of my songs I consider the best ones are maybe 5 years old now, and I want to keep creating and making music now as well, that people that resonates with you guys and gives people something cool to listen to. You know, I try to keep it classic and heavy and kind of what I consider heavy metal should be like. And you know, you'll hear bits of my influences in there as well, but it's pretty me, you know, as well. Pretty unique, I think. And yeah, I'm glad JJ was happy to hop on this one with some of his great backing vocals. So yeah, this is Devil in Disguise. Enjoy, guys. There we go. Keep the devil away. You'll have hell to pay. I like that one myself. I'm glad it had such a catchy kind of chorus. Sometimes it's one of those things you gotta have the right chorus when you're writing a metal song. I think as a songwriter, I always try and make sure it's got a hooky kind of chorus. You know, not catchy like a pop song catchy, but you still need that kind of a I'm your turbo lover. or you got another thing coming. Like Judas Priest have always got that kind of hooky line, a hooky chorus. I try and do that within my own music, and I'm happy with that one. I think it's got a bit of a fight vibe, so it's great to have JJ on there. It's got a bit of a raw kind of fight vibe, but also it's got a doomy, Sabbathy, King Diamond-y kind of vibe going on as well. And that's coming from other people. I've had a few people say King Diamond, and like I said, it's getting all the votes, that song, for people's favourite of mine, which is great feedback. Glad to know, and pretty damn heavy, one of my heaviest songs, I think, and the guitar playing's great. All credit to Carmine Putzu, who is in Las Vegas, I believe. He's my primary guitarist for this kind of classic heavy metal stuff, and we've done some great songs like Burn the Priest, The King of Hearts, Alien Invasion. He's got a really good metal guitar style, and on the theme of heavy, I'm going to play a very heavy Alice Cooper song now, because I told you how much I love Alice and grew up with his music and stuff. Well, this is a song that I just have always loved, and I love the heavy riffs, and I love Alice's kind of creepy voice, something about the way Alice sings, she's a nun. You'll hear the way he says with a bulletproof soul, full of self-esteem, I envenom myself with no one's help. I think that's a different song, but this whole album, the Dragontown album, is fantastic, and Brutal Planet, they kind of go hand in hand. I just love this song, Sister Sarah, it's your penalty for eternity. Anyway, I better let you hear it now, because it's awesome. You're going to love it. If you haven't heard it before, you're in for a treat. Fantastic, heavy song. Just listen to these riffs, and it's about a very naughty nun, I believe. Great lyrics. I love with Alice as well. He tells a story. You hear his lyrics. Every word he says, he makes you hear it. He makes you believe it, and he kind of creates this story in your head. I think that's what's so kind of good about Alice. He's kind of got some magic to him, where I think his appeal is how he can really tell a story and make a visual, in your head. I think something about that is quite a unique thing to be able to do, sort of create music which is so clear to you, when you listen to it. You just know what he's singing about, know what he's talking about. There's so many bands and artists where you think, what is this song about? Bohemian Rhapsody is like Galileo, what's that? Beelzebub and all this, what's he singing about? But Alice Cooper, most of the lyrics, you're like, yeah, you know what he's trying to say, and you know the crazy character of Alice, and what a psychopath that character is, and such a contrast to what Alice is in real life, a Christian who plays golf, goes to church every Sunday, and on stage he's this villainous, evil character who's ready to rip your throat out or bite your face off. So yeah, he's great. He's great at becoming the character. He's a very theatric performer, and he's like an actor, and he's very convincing. He plays his part well, and without any further ado, I think we better play it, because you're probably getting impatient now. This is Sister Sarah off the Dragontown album.
Lost her soul. She got cash, she got laid. Now she's dealing with me, and she gonna get paid. She got caught with the bishop, got caught with the abbot. Even Cardinal Sin tried to feed her habits. Now we get whores and pimps and skanks, but when your judgment came down, even we gave thanks. It's your penalty for eternity. opportunity to call his name. Don't look surprised, don't be in shock. You'll be a lovely little demon in my private stock. I'm just doing my job to pull you down, 'cause it's a one-way ticket down to Dragon Town. You got caught in my web. You made your own bed here, and now you must keep me well fed. You're mine, too bad. You're here for me. You're just here for me. Sister Sarah, it's a penalty for eternity. Did you think that you were safe? You'll forget your old identity, who you used to be. Sister Sarah, so depraved. Time after time after time after time after Sister Sarah, it's a penalty for eternity. Did you think that you were safe? You'll forget your old identity, who you used to be. Sister Sarah, so depraved.
And there we have a bit of Sister Sarah. Awesome song. Yeah, very good visuals there. You're gonna drown in the water, turn to wine. what a crazy line for a Christian. You know, it shows how the Alice Cooper character is total contrast to the real Alice or Vince. So yeah, he's great at getting into character. I love that song. It's always been a favourite of mine. And on that kind of religious theme, there's a little song, I believe, by Kronos, which I'm going to find for you, called Vampire. There is another one which is a bit more on a religious theme, but I can't find that one right now, so we're going to play a bit of Vampire by Kronos, on the theme of Alice Cooper playing in castles. Yeah, I think this is quite in keeping with Vampire from Kronos of Venom, but it's with his solo work. Yeah, this is a really cool song.
10 times Black Soda told his craft, 3 more to sell his prayer.
Wow. Or shall I say, wow! That's Vampire by Kronos there. Excellent song, really, really cool. I really like his solo work because it's totally different, kind of a different side to his voice as well, a bit more kind of melodic kind of thing, but in a totally different way, because he's not known for being particularly melodic there. Venom, obviously, is just crazy evil voice by Kronos, you know, Conrad Lant. But his solo stuff there, yeah, it's quite melodic and kind of just different. I really like it. I really like his solo work. Yeah, fantastic vocalist, and again, another singer who can totally take you to the place. The music of Venom, particularly the way he sings, kind of, you know, takes you right there to what he's singing about. And yeah, I think that's a real skill, you know, and it's good as so many of these artists can create a real kind of visual, you know, for you to kind of create your own little magic music experience, you know. So yeah, and like I say, we've got plenty more metal to come up on the show. And talking of metal, one of the bands that always spring to mind is Black Sabbath. Obviously, with Ozzy's passing, I think we're all playing even more Black Sabbath than we did before, you know, and Ozzy's solo stuff, and, you know, in tribute to Ozzy, we're playing all that stuff. And yeah, I think we've all kind of realised just how special he was, you know. Now that he's not around, it's you know, you really feel the loss, you know. He's one of those characters that you just want around, you know. It's nice to know that he's around, you know, and you know, he's made all of us laugh, he's made all of us, don't know about cry, some of the songs, maybe Mama I'm Coming Home, yeah, I think he did make us all cry, especially on that last performance, but he certainly made us all have a great time and a laugh, and rock out to some amazing songs, you know, Bark at the Moon, Crazy Train, and then the Sabbath stuff, you know, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Spiral Architect, which is one of my favourites. You know, such a great singer and unique. There's no other word for Ozzy, I think, than unique. There's nobody else like him. And Lemmy was kind of similar in the way that there'll never be another Lemmy. I don't think there'll ever be another Ozzy, you know. They were one of a kind and of a generation that is no longer kind of around anymore. The whole music scene is changing. AI is creeping in now, which means a lot of songs will just be knocked up on a computer with AI, and there might be some real vocals on there, or there might be some fake vocals. You know, you can probably just tell AI, make me a hit, and it'll do it. And, you know, who knows, that's probably going to end up being the future of music to a percentage anyway. And then there'll be the few people who do it for real, you know. And obviously AI is a big subject because we don't know exactly where it's going to go yet. But I can see movies, they're not going to need actors probably at some point. The movie will maybe they just need the licensing of the actor's face and the rest is done by the computer. But I don't know how many people are going to be happy with that. I know I wouldn't be, but people who are of a different generation, the new generation, I don't know if they're just like, if they like the movie or whatever, then that's enough. I think people are consuming things differently now. It used to be vinyl and you want the physical copy of everything, and now it's all digital and kind of impersonal. And then it's kind of going back to vinyl a bit now. Some people are buying vinyl, which I'd love to do myself if I had a vinyl machine player even. You can see I'm pretty out of touch with vinyl. I've never used it, but I do own a few vinyls and a few signed vinyls, like a Judas Priest vinyl and things, because I like that old school kind of thing, But CDs was my generation. I always, bought all the CDs. I had every Judas Priest CD. In fact, when you get them all together, it creates the Judas Priest symbol. When you put them in the rack together, all the ends of them come together to create the big Judas Priest symbol. I think there's a name for it, but I can't remember. But yeah, it's really cool actually. It looks really cool. So yeah, pretty diehard Judas Priest fan here. I had everything and all the live DVDs, and yeah, a lot of it signed, and yeah, I still do have it, but it's all away in boxes and stuff now. It's it's all out the way. But I've got a few things here in Mexico which I brought over, and I got a Rob Halford thing which I recently mounted in a nice frame. A Rob Halford signed picture he sent me once, and a signed LP from like the Killing Machine days, signed by Rob, KK Downing and Les Binks, so that's quite a unique one. And a photo of KK and Rob signed from the Vengeance era as well, so I've mounted those three things in a nice frame, because I love Judas Priest. I love that I've got some really cool things, so I got a few of my autographs here and a lot of it in England, so it's I don't get to see much of my other stuff, but I got a few bits and pieces, and over the years I collected a lot because Judas Priest were always my favourite band. I remember when the Redeemer of Souls album came out, there was a big thing in the local record store in Bristol, a big monster thing, the Redeemer of Souls creature. They had a big cardboard cutout of it for the promotion of the album, and the store said I could have it when they were done with it. So that's what I did. I remember bringing it home on the bus, this huge cardboard cutout, which fit in my room just about. I don't think I have it anymore, but I had it for a period, and it was good. But I think I put it up for sale because it was just in the way as I got older. Someone come out from pretty far away. They drove down to pick it up. I couldn't believe it. They drove down and bought it. Picked it up and bought it, which was really cool. I think I did them a good deal because they drove out to pick it up. So I was just happy someone else could enjoy it. But yeah, it was a cool thing to have, the Redeemer of Souls cutout. I'm glad I had it for a while, but like I said, I got lots of nice Priest memorabilia. But yeah, what was I getting to? Because I went a bit off subject there with AI. There's certain things AI is coming in and can be a tool in some ways. The problem I'm seeing with AI is doing some things which are helpful, like it might be good for just information. It can provide you with certain information if you ask it about something, and it's kind of easier than Googling. It comes up with a clearer thing. But then there's the other side of it where it will steal art and create something new. And obviously AI will be linked to all sorts of things, facial recognition, and I don't know, it's a real rabbit hole, because it might be used for editing software, and some people use it for cloning, voice cloning, and creating celebrity things which are not the celebrity speaking and things like that. And yeah, there's so many kind of downsides. I don't know how many upsides there are. I think it's one of those things where I think if people are using it as a tool in some way, in a very small way, maybe, that's okay, maybe. If it's helping you just, get the information you need. Say you're writing a book and you need some information on a certain subject or something. Like, in my eyes, if it's a tool and that was all it was, great, But the thing is, it's not. I saw a quote by someone say the other day, I want AI, if AI is going to be around, I want it to help me do all the stuff I don't want to do, so that I have more time to make art. I don't want AI to make the art, so I have to work more, you know. That you want AI to do the working, and you've got more time for creative things. And that's kind of the point. And Prince kind of said something like that years ago, before AI. Something about, you know, it's okay to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's okay to use a computer, don't let the computer use you. And I think that's good words, wise words by Prince. It's all about kind of who's in control, you know. If the computers are getting too in control, you know, that's when we got to be aware. And, you know, when it comes to music and creating music, I think, you know, anyone who's just letting AI do the whole thing, and you're claiming it to be your own piece of music, or you're just cheating and not doing anything, you're making AI do everything. And, you know, that is totally, to me, out the question. That's not what being a musician is, you know. But I think we're going to see so much more of it in aspects we don't even expect. Like I say, movies. I'm sure they can make a whole movie with AI now without anyone even having to do anything, without an actor having to be paid or even exist. That's where it's going to get scary. And it's the same in music. There's going to be songs, and there already is songs, which are just completely generated by AI. And I've seen Freddie Mercury songs, which to me, you can hear that it's soulless, and they've just stole bits from other songs to create a new song. It's not authentic, but yeah, it sounds a little bit like Freddie, so people like it because it's Freddie's voice, but it's not Freddie's soul. It's not what he wanted to do. It's not real, you know. It's not real. It's just it's fake, you know. But there is a percentage of people, especially old people, who are just like not very savvy, and they come across a thing of Freddie singing, and they're like, oh, I like that, you know. And then there you go, you got a view, you got a like, you got money, whatever, and that's how it goes on, you know. Some people would just accept it for what it is, and enjoy it, and pay for it, and, you know, that's where it gets scary, because it's not the real deal, you know. And I was always thinking, you know, a concept for bands, you know, bands always kind of expire or whatever, you know. Eventually the band is disbanded, be it any band, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Skid Row, you know there's going to be an end. But I kind of thought, I wonder if bands could carry on, and this is kind of away from AI, but like, what would it be if there was a Judas Priest, like, in the future with totally different members? Would that work, you know? And any band, you know, could you have a band that's just got different members, and instead of a band ending, it just keeps going? You could have like a Judas Priest of 200 years time, or, you know, it's a weird concept, but it's something I was thinking about back a bit, how because the band Gong, which is David Allen's kind of baby, really, you know, the late David Allen, and he was, you know, the magic of Gong, really. But he had a kind of view that Gong was kind of everyone's band, you know. People could come and go and join and continue without him, and, you know, it was his blessing, I believe, for Gong to continue after his death. And I kind of like the idea of it, you know, as long as the ethos is still there and there's some element of what the band was about, you know. It's kind of a nice idea that a band would evolve, and I think I'd certainly prefer that to an AI just pretending to be the band, you know, pretending to be Freddie Mercury or whatever, you know. Because when all these people are gone, the whole Queen band are gone, and there's nobody to kind of hold it there and keep it going. Will it be okay for an AI to start making Queen songs just so we hear more Queen? I say no, I don't like it. I never like the holograms, how a lot of these bands are wanting to do holograms now as well. These holographic shows, I find that very weird. I think ABBA was doing that, and Kiss are, I think, lined up to do that when they're gone. I think they're happy for Kiss to carry on as a kind of a holographic show, which is just weird. But I mean, I guess if it is them, if it's somehow portraying a show that is them, and they've, you know, I don't know how it works, but if it's sort of a repeat of a real Kiss show, I guess that's a little bit different. And I guess if they're gone, you know, and it's way into the future, and it gives people a chance to see what Kiss were like, maybe that's okay. But I think the human thing is what we need. We need kind of to appreciate music now more than ever. Go to the shows, buy people's music, especially if it's, you know, independent artists who are doing it for real, you know. And I think commercial music could be the one that's going to be a big change, because we already know, you know, the music industry doesn't really care for the artist. It's all about the next buck, you know, who's going to make the most money, who can they back to make a load of money. I mean, Youngblood, I don't know how authentic he is. I've seen things that he's performing with auto-tune on all his live performances, which to me is a bit fake and corny, and that's one step of fakery. But how far will it go in the future with the use of AI and things? How much of the music industry going to care if something's real or not real? You know, I think if it comes to a point where they can make money without even using people, that's what they're going to do. So I think we need to all kind of be aware of, you know, if we're going to use AI, you know, what are you using it for? Is it a tool, or are you letting it do the work? And if you're letting it really do the work that you're supposed to be doing and the creative aspects, I'd step away from that, you know. As a tool, a basic tool, I mean, it's a shame it's linked to AI, because sometimes you don't even know that it would be AI, like this thing where you can talk to AI and ask it things. You know, to me, that's just like a Google search or whatever, but a bit more specific, you know, like a Google Assistant, which has been around for years. You know, to me, it's no different to that. So there's parts of AI which people are going to be comfortable with because it seems okay. It seems like, well, that is not that big a deal, you know. But then, like I said, there's the other side of it where they're creating art, they're doing things, creating fake, you know, fake music, fake voices of people who already exist, and that's where it gets a bit you know, a bit scary, and we don't know what the future's going to hold. I think it's going to be a very different world. So yeah, and on that note, I think Judas Priest were quite prophetic in this song, a bit of a prophecy of the times to come. This is Electric Eye, the electric eye in the sky, Big Brother watching you, all that kind of thing, off the Screaming for Vengeance album. Great song, and yeah, on this subject I think it's very appropriate. So here we go, Electric Eye.
Everything you do
what a song. I love that. Such a cool song. And watching Rob perform it live and the whole band, you know, is awesome. Glenn Tipton's great solo. KK Downing with awesome riffs on that one. And, you know, I love the Budokan performance where Rob appears through like a door. The door's open, he's there on this kind of high up platform, and he's just like a heavy metal beast, you know, appearing in this glistening outfit like the Electric Eye. I love the visuals, you know. Rob's another one who gets into character and kind of really creates the song with his performance, which I love, and the different costumes and stuff. Really cool. And like I said, great song lyrically, you know, about the electric eye in the sky, always there, you know, knows your every move kind of thing. It seems that's the way the world's getting, and even back then when they wrote the song in the 80s, you know, it was obviously a thought, you know, on your mind. Big Brother's always there, kind of like the 1984, one of those films, I think it's called, you know, where they predict all that dystopian stuff that's going on, you know, and how the advertising kind of brainwashes you. And yeah, it's very true. There's a lot of crazy stuff where we're always being subjected to all this advertising and consume. We're always kind of taught that we must consume, you know, and I think we're taken away from what's real. I think that's partly why I wrote that song, which I played you at the beginning of the show, the Dance with the Pixies, because it's about just getting out in nature. The best thing you can do is, you know, not have your phone, get out in nature, and it's a total reset button, you know, walking in the woods, walking in the fields, whatever, you know, barefoot, beautiful, you know, it's great. Just such a good thing for your body, and to kind of awaken your mind and open your mind, you know, it kind of opens you up to the real world. And you know, we're all sucked into our phones all the time, so many of us, and I think it's not a good way to go. That's why I think the power of radio is great as well, talking, you know, everything that's real. I've noticed that most people who are phone addicts are watching or listening to podcasts and human things like you know, eating something, a food review. Oh, let's try this burger or whatever, because it's all real things which people are too kind of lazy to do in their real life anymore, or whatever, you know. They want to watch someone else eat the burger, or review this, or just watch someone talking about something, because I think people really are craving that human intimacy, but there isn't a lot of it now because everyone's on their phones watching people pretend to be real, you know. Instead of being real themselves, they're watching everyone pretend to be real, and that's where the world's gone a bit backwards, you know. And I think we need to kind of align our minds to what's really important, and nature, animals, getting outside, communicating with people. I mean, I don't like people, really, I'll be honest. I'm quite introverted. I'm quite happy doing my own thing. But as long as there's nature and animals and, you know, the right people, it's good to be surrounded by the right people, and like-minded people is important. So, you know, that's something I think we all need to do for the new year, 2026. Maybe a resolution for everyone, just to get off our phones and do as much real stuff as we can. Go to a concert. Because I always say concerts, you know, sometimes it's a bit like, oh, what a rip-off, it's expensive, you know, ticket prices are through the roof, which they are, but then at the same time, it's a real experience, and it's one of those things, sometimes it's like, yeah, it's worth it, you know, if you're going to experience something which actually gives you a genuine dopamine hit, rather than fake ones through your phone, which are like a fruit machine, you know. That's basically what your phone is, you know, with all these advertisements and visuals which make you stimulated to keep watching and consume. You know, a concert is a real dopamine kind of hit and fix, because you're really enjoying it. You get to see the artist perform, and you know, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad that I'm going to get the opportunity to see some cool shows. Like I said, I've got Tim Ripper Owens coming up, Alice Cooper with the Hollywood Vampires in I think it's August 14th or something. So yeah, a couple of things to look forward to, and hopefully some other concerts. Like I say, gutted I can't see Steel Panther there, because I love their show. I've always loved seeing them live, and I'm good friends with Satchel. Yeah, we talk a lot because he's come to Bristol quite a few times, and I met him, and then I sang with him, and we've kept in touch since. And yeah, it's great. great to know him, and he's just a great guitar player, and I try to always see them perform, you know, because they're real guys. They're not you know, they're good with the fans. They you know, get the fans involved coming up on the stage and things, and they're down to earth. And they really rock. They play amazing. You know, Satchel's, you know, one of the best guitar players in the world. You know, he's fantastic, insane guitar player. So yeah, they've ticked all the boxes. Michael Starr on vocals, fantastic voice. You know, he's like got that real 80s glam kind of voice. Really something unique. You know, he's got a voice that's yeah, like Van Halen-y type of stuff. You know, he can sing all that stuff and his own stuff. It's fantastic, you know, the Steel Panther stuff, and it's funny, you know, let's not forget it's funny, you know, the lyrics are great, the humorous aspect of Steel Panther, but they seriously rock, and yeah, I recommend you guys go see them if you get a chance. If they come near you, then let them come in tonight. I think that's one of their songs. Let me come in, let me come in. Yeah, I think there's some other lyrics which I can't mention because they're so explicit. But yeah, go see them, guys. But next up, I've been listening to. We may have some fans who have Linkin Park. Well, Chester Bennington had another band called Grey Days, and I really like them. I really like the sound. You know, there's kind of a psychedelic element sometimes, and it's very grungy kind of rock, proper rock band kind of thing. And Chester's voice is insane. You know, I think you know, they may even be better than Linkin Park. I'm not sure. I'm undecided, but I really like the songs. Either way, it's a great expression, and it's good he did different stuff. You know, yeah, obviously the late Chester Bennington, you know, sorely missed. We all love Chester and that amazing, powerful voice, and he seemed like such a great guy, such a loss to music and just to people. To, you know, he was a great person and kind of uplifted us all. You know, he had such an emotional voice, and I have good memories of the song I'm going to play you. It's like I say, it's by Grey Days. It's a song called What's in the Eye, and I remember, I think it was, yeah, I was probably like a teenager, maybe up to my 20s, but I think I was more like probably, I don't know, 16 to 19, something like that. I used to do a lot of cycling, and I'd cycle around my town like twice, like a big circle. I don't know how I had the energy. I had a lot more energy back then, but yeah, I'd cycle really full on cycling as well, up hills, big hills and stuff, and going around. And this song used to really motivate me, and it's got these lyrics: don't slow down, or slow down. No, was it? Don't go too fast, my friend, or you'll lose control. Yeah, don't go too fast, my friend, or you lose control. And I'd listen to that while I was going really fast. I'd be speeding and then whizzing down these hills, and then I used to be quite nifty, like hitting the brakes as soon as I got to like the right bit. I could hit the brakes perfectly, and yeah, I was pretty nifty on my bike for a while, you know, because I rode it so often, you know. Yeah, I was always kind of one step ahead kind of thing. So yeah, it was fun. I'd do this kind of big route, and I'd burn off a lot of energy. And this song, I remember going down a lot of hills, full speed. I'd speed down the hills. Anyone who rides motorbikes and stuff would probably feel similar, but I'm talking about a bicycle. I was just on my bicycle, a mountain bike, I think. But it's the same kind of adrenaline rush. It's a great feeling, actually, you know, when you're just going really fast. And this is a song which you guys can use your imagination now, and if you're driving or doing anything else, don't go too fast, but enjoy, because this is yeah, it's a great song, a great driving song, great cycling song. Yeah, it's brilliant. So, Grey Days with What's in the Eye.
Can you tell me?
up inside. Don't go too fast, my friend, or you'll lose control. Don't go too fast, my friend, or you'll lose control. What's in the eye that I cannot catch? Is it me? I want to know why it's so hard to let go. Don't go too fast, my friend, or you'll lose control. Don't go too fast, my friend, or you'll lose control. Don't go, down you go, down you go. No, no, don't go, down you go, down you go. No, no, what's in the eye? What's in the
There we go. Great memories of that song. That was actually a different version. I was trying to figure out while I was listening to it. I was thinking, this sounds a little bit different to the one I used to listen to. It sounds more like a demo, that version, but I don't think it is. I haven't got any more information on it, but it's Grey Days, What's in the Eye. It doesn't say it's any kind of alternative version. Maybe it's the music video version or something. But yes, definitely a little bit different. Some of you might know what I mean if you've heard the other version, but yeah, it's not the version I had that I used to listen to actually, but it's a nice version. I'll leave it with you guys to digest it, because it's a nice version. Maybe on the show next week I'll find the other version which I used to like, because similar, very close, it's basically the same song, but it's a bit different. It sounds more live, more of a live kind of sound, and a bit demo-ish. The ending's different. The vocal that he's doing on the end there is a little bit different with the melodies, and yeah, like I said, it's a bit more of a demo sound. So yeah, that's cool. Anyway, I'm glad we could both experience something new today. We can all experience something new, because yeah, that's one I haven't heard before, that version. I thought it was the same version, but yeah, not the case. So yeah, that's cool. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Bit of a Grey Days there with the great Chester Bennington with that unmistakable voice. It's nice to hear him sing like that, because like I say, with that more live sound, you can really hear his voice on that one. His voice is right up there in the mix, more so than the other version, which I'm I'm talking about, which I remember. So yeah, nice to hear his voice at the front even more, than usual. So yeah, hope you like that one, guys. I'll play something a bit more trippy now, something just a little bit different. You might know Lemmy was in this band, and I believe he plays on this, playing his bass, I believe, on this one. And of course, singing, is one of the few songs where he's actually singing with Hawkwind. There's a few songs where he did sing with Hawkwind, and this is yet another one. But I'm trying to think of the other one. They had a song Motorhead, which I'm guessing is where he got the name. Motorhead, the actual name of the band, when he did his own stuff. But the song which is probably most famous for Hawkwind is Silver Machine. So I thought I'd play that one for you because it's a really cool song, and I think you'll enjoy it. So here we go with Hawkwind, Silver Machine, with the great Lemmy Kilminster on bass and vocals. Very cool. You got Nick Turner as well playing I think he's playing the flute on this one, and he's a very talented instrumentalist. You got Dave Brock, who's kind of the main singer for Hawkwind as well. Many different members to the band, a real psychedelic kind of vibe, one of the kind of pioneers for the psychedelic rock movement, along with Gong and David Allen and all that kind of stuff. I think Gong came first, Hawkwind came a little bit later, not too much, but kind of around a similar time. And they're both fantastic bands, and Hawkwind, great psychedelic rock. So enjoy this one, Silver Machine.
I
There we go, the fantastic Lemmy there. Unmistakable voice there, but a bit different to Motorhead, the way he sings. Nice to hear him with a bit of a cleaner vocal. As a vocalist myself, I love voices. I love to kind of hear vocalists doing different things. Over on my channel, my YouTube, sometimes I analyse different vocalists. I think I analysed Lemmy a while ago, and I try and kind of show people how I'd approach trying to sing like different singers like George Michael, Morrissey, Rob Halford. And Lemmy is one of the ones I kind of daren't do, but I think I did, because he's not a voice really anyone's going to be able to get exactly, because he's got a very distinctive voice, but I tried my best to analyse him. I remember, I've done quite a lot of that, analysing different vocalists, and I get good feedback, which is good. So, a lot of people have found the videos useful. I probably need to do some more of that, because it is fun to kind of dissect people's voices. I listen to it isolated and really study the voices. And going by Lemmy there, he's just using a lot of his clean kind of full voice, which is nice. And at the end, you've got someone doing falsetto, maybe Dave Brock, with that silver machine kind of thing in the background, which is neat. I like that. That's kind of quite cool, and lots of nice trippy sounds, great synthesizer kind of sounds, but it's all mainly instruments. I think you got the flute. Sometimes Nick Turner's doing saxophone as well, and you got loads of different instruments. I don't know how they create half those sounds, but it's amazing sound. I love psychedelic rock, as much as heavy metal. Really, I love that. Trippy kind of stuff. That was really neat. There's so many songs I could play you. We're on our last half hour of the show now, so I'm going to play some cool tracks, which I know we're all going to know and love. Some heavy metal that I know you're all waiting for. So I'm going to play a little something really heavy. Let's have a look. I think I'm going to go with a bit of... It's going to either be Aussie or... what else have I got here? Got more Alice Cooper. I think I'm going to go Come to the Sabbath, Merciful Fate. Why not? Let's give this one a roar. You are the one! There we go. But I come to the Sabbath with great King Diamond singing there. That is obviously some Merciful Fate, but King's amazing voice there. He did great work with Merciful Fate, and I love his solo work too. Love that high voice. I love high voices, you know. Rob Alford, Udo of Accept, that kind of gravelly high voice. King Diamond, and Jimmy Somerville of the pop world with Bronxy B. He had a great high voice. I just love that kind of high vocal style and the way different people do it. And I myself, obviously, I do a lot of high vocal style. If you know who I am by now, so yeah, you probably would have heard all my screaming I like to do. I love that kind of vocal style. And I thought I'd run over a bit of heavy metal news for you. I'm just searching up the latest heavy metal news to give you guys a bit of a taste of some different kind of things that are going on, because there seems to be a lot. Apparently Exodus are releasing a new album. They've announced a new album, Goliath. They're going to drop brutal lead single 3111. That's it, 3111. That's, I'm guessing, the name of the new lead single, which is interesting actually, because I've always thought it'd be good to put a song title as a number, because you don't really see that, you know, so that's different. 3111 by Exodus, and it's brutal by the sounds of it, brutal lead single, so look out for that. Their new album and the new single coming. And In Flames have announced a US tour with a Pond Stone, Throne, and Distant. There we go. Dogma, they're a very cool kind of weird band, like all dressed as kind of corpse paint nuns. It's an all-female band, and they're all dressed as corpse paint nuns, but they've had a lot of lineup troubles, as the title is saying here. Dogma announces US tour despite massive lineup troubles, which I've heard about that. I think a couple of the original members I think they left. Don't know if they left or they were kicked out. I think they left because of I think they weren't getting a lot of money at all for the shows. I remember reading something, I don't want to quote it wrong, but yeah, you'll have to look into it yourselves. But there's been some real controversy among the band members, and I think the management and things like that, you know, they're not getting paid what they should be. And yeah, I think a couple of them left, and yeah, but the photo, they all look the same, because I guess they've got the same makeup on it. You wouldn't really know looking at the photos that there's any difference, you know. But yeah, I've seen them popping up on the YouTube shorts and things, and you know, on different social media, little reels of Dogma, and yeah, they seem cool. I think they did a cover of a song, Holy Mary or something. Well, that might be one of their songs. I don't know. I might be getting confused with Ghost. I don't know. I don't really like or listen to Ghost. It's not my thing. But yeah, they did a cover of some popular song, which I think it was a pop song, and they kind of made it metal. And I think that's one of the ways they got so known now. And their visual is very cool. So yeah, check out Dogma. See what they're all about. I don't know if all of their music is that spectacular or not, but from the clips I've seen, they seem pretty cool. They seem like they can rock, and yeah, and they're fun, and they've got a good visual, which is good. In other news, we've got Monstrosity returns with ferocious new album, Screams from Beneath the Surface. And there's something here. Metal fans are unlikely to cheat. Jazz fans are boning everyone, according to a study. Well, there we go. That's metal science, apparently. So jazz fans, there you go. That's unexpected. Metal fans are faithful. That's, I think, because metal fans are the outcast. You know, we know what it's like to be outcast and be different. And I think that's probably why we stay by our spouses and our, you know, our loved ones. And we're not cheaters. We appreciate people who are, you know, different and like us, and we cherish that. You know, I guess maybe other music fans are, you know, more normal, shall we say, are probably the ones who are more likely to be doing things like that. So there we go. And now in other news, we've got Crystal Lake names the inspirations behind their upcoming new album, The Weight of Sound. So there you go. There's something to look up if you're into Crystal Lake. A lot of these bands I haven't heard of. These seem to be a lot of new bands. Fit for a King announced North American tour with Invent, Animate, 1056 and Acres. I don't know where they come up with half of these band names. I think they're running out of ideas. We've got another one here. Original Slipknot singer Anders Corsafini. I didn't even know they had an original singer. I thought it was always Corey Taylor. So there we go. Original Slipknot singer Anders Corsafini to celebrate Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat with special Iowa show. So there we go. He's going to be celebrating some Slipknot stuff by the sounds of it. So that's cool. If you're in Iowa, you've got something cool coming there. There's an article about why Ozzy bit the head off a bat in 1981, which I believe the story was he thought it was a rubber bat. Someone threw it on, and then he bit it, and by that point it was too late to go back. So and I think he had to get rabies shots straight after the show or something after that. We got in other news here, Dark Tranquility and So On announced a North American Scandinavian heavy arts tour. So there we go. For the Scandinavian fans out there, you've got some metal coming around your way. Corrosion of Conformity also announced a North American tour with Clutch Whores and Crowbar. Crowbar are a great band, actually. I saw them in Bristol many years ago. I think I was 16 or something, so probably, I don't know, how many years is that? Over 10 years, a little bit over 10 years maybe ago. I saw Crowbar, maybe, I'm trying to think, don't know what year it was, but Crowbar, and they're kind of quite wacky. They're more of a rock band, more of a, I don't know, different. It wasn't metal kind of thing from what I remember. They were a bit like that Greta Van Fleet, a bit 70s sort of vibe, The singer's got sideburns, I think, and all that kind of stuff. And I think it was Crowbar and Scorpion Child, another band, which I think are doing well for themselves still. I see their name popping up now and again. But they were cool. They were cool bands. I remember enjoying their show. I don't know why we went. It was me and a group of friends. I think some of the friends knew who they were. I didn't know who they were, but I went along, I guess, and it was good. Yeah, it was good fun. Seven Dust have announced a new album and a US tour. We've got Sepultura. Sepultura have announced their final North American dates with Exodus, Biohazard and Tribal Gaze. So there we go, Exodus. That's obviously Gary Holt. He did a little intro for one of my songs once, which is cool, just introducing it. He's great, and he plays with Slayer as well. Biohazard, I think they were like one of the original kind of punk bands of, I don't know if it was America, I think it was, I don't know if it was, I think it's New York or something, out of New York, one of the first punk bands out of New York, something like that. But they've got Evan something, I can't remember his name, but I think he's the singer, Evan, can't think, Stanfield, maybe, Evan Stanfield. I tried to get an interview with him a while ago because he lives out in Mexico too, and he said, I'll do an interview, because I said, I'm living out in Mexico too, which is cool and that, and he said, I could do an interview, and then he said, I said, what day do you want to do? And he's like, we'll do it Thursday then or whatever. And then I text him and he's like, I'm just out for dinner, I'll do it when I finish. And then I wait till he finished, and then he doesn't contact me, and then it's just I gave up. I'm like, I don't care that much. I don't really care that much to interview you, that I'm going to be messed around, so I didn't bother in the end, but I was looking forward to talking to him about life in Mexico, and, because there's not many rockers, apart from me, who've moved out here to live kind of thing, a lot of people go to America and stuff, so it's cool to see people who are enjoying Mexico like I am, so I was looking forward to chatting to him about that, but no big loss there. Anyone who messes me around, I'm not interested. I'm not going to be chasing them up for interviews. I've kind of got a thing where I'm quite strict with interviews. I mainly just interview people I'm really interested in and I've got a lot of knowledge on, and people who've had an impact on my life, and people who I feel have really got a story to tell. So most of the interviews, like KK Downing, Kane Roberts of Alice Cooper, Steel Panther with Satchel of Steel Panther, Mantis of Venom, they're all people who I've always been really interested in. Dennis Dunaway, who played with the Alice Cooper original Alice Cooper band, you know, fantastic bass player. People I really love, you know, generally that's who I try and interview, you know. I'm not one of these people who interview just anyone, but I thought being with the Mexico connection, he could have been an interesting one to talk to, but yeah, it wasn't to be, unfortunately, but no big loss there. But I'm always looking out for new interviews. I'm hoping I'll get some cool people on the channel again and here on the Metal Stream Radio. Always fun to get some special guests on here, and every week, some of the weeks, I'll be playing some parts of my interviews I've done, past interviews with various rock stars that I just mentioned. So yeah, be sure to tune in for that, and there'll be new ones as well, because I'm always keeping an eye out for who I can get. King Diamond, I'm hoping I might have a chance to interview at some point. I was told I'd be able to eventually when they're dropping albums and things. So I'm holding out for that. And yeah, there's a few people I'm hoping to get. Gal has said he'd do an interview with me if I can get to Norway, I think, because he prefers to do it in person. So the great Gal of Gorgoroth and Godseed and that, he said better in person kind of thing. If I can get to Norway, maybe I will for a little trip. I'm not sure yet. I'll hopefully have the chance to interview Gal. So that'd be fun. But anyway, looking into some more news. Creator, now that's one I think we've all heard of. They stream Crushers of the World video. New album out now. Just so many bands are dropping new albums this year. We've got Ghost. There we go, Ghost. Although I'm not much of a fan, it's cool they try different things, because apparently they've released a long hidden cover of Pet Shop Boys' It's a Sin, which is actually one of my favourite Pet Shop Boys songs. It's a great song, actually. It's a sin. And he's got a very nasally voice. I was talking earlier about different voices. It's quite weird. He's got a very nasally voice, but it works, you know, the Pet Shop Boys singer, you know, it's that kind of a... Everyone, it's a sin. Kind of that kind of sound. You've got to hold your nose to do it. But somehow it's great, and that's what I love about the 80s. So many singers have got these kind of unique inflections on their voice. Like Mark Ullman's got kind of a London-y voice. Mark Ullman of Soft Cell, kind of a bit of twang, British, London-y kind of voice, and kind of the sort of singer who probably wouldn't get through on X Factor, but is like an amazing singer, you know, and unique and creative. And the 80s created a lot of people like that. Some great singers, some really unique voices. Jimmy Somerville of Bronxy Beat, John Foster, who I'm good friends with now, who's collaborated on me, who also sang for Bronxy Beat. He's got kind of a very nice, kind of beautiful kind of voice, kind of very quite hard to explain. Again, a kind of British, London-y kind of twang to his voice, but not the American thing. A lot of singers kind of do an American thing with their voice, and I interviewed John a while back, and he was saying about how he didn't do too much of that. You know, he said most singers sort of try to do this American-y thing with their voice, but yeah, sometimes keeping true to it. If you are British, you know, sometimes that's nice to have that kind of British sound. You know, it's quite unique, you know. Anyway, with our final bit of news, Matt Sorum opens up about Guns N' Roses' Velvet Revolver and playing with Geezer Butler in Deadland Ritual. Well, that sounds fun. So that's a story worth checking out. As the show's coming to an end, there's some more metal news you can look up if you're interested in any of these stories. Limp Bizkit, Disturbed and Bad Omens to headline Incarnation Festival 2026. So yeah, lots of cool festivals. Judas Priest is playing Bloodstock this year. Tons of cool things. I'm going to play you a new artist now with the mention of Limp Bizkit there. I believe supporting Limp Bizkit at the moment is this cool artist called Eka Vandal, and she's really different. The video for this song is great, and I love the kind of guitar riff and stuff. Very unique stuff. So this is Eka Vandal with Molly, and it's something new, something fresh. You know, we're always here on Metal Stream Radio to support new metal coming out as well as the old stuff. And this is kind of rock, metal, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely got that edge. So I think it's very appropriate here for Metal Stream Radio. And I think you're going to love it. So come on, let's hear a bit of Eka Vandal with Molly. Love it. Really, really cool. I really love her voice. I think it's got a bit like Lily Allen with some edge, you know, and some rock guitar, you know. It's definitely heavy. She's got a real kind of, wait until I'm high, kind of that real grit to her voice. You know, I like that kind of grit, you know. She's really pushing her voice to the edge there with a bit of a kind of a distortion, you know, almost guttural-y distortion. Yeah, very nice voice. Totally unique, you know. That's the kind of talent I'm glad to be seeing coming up. You know, I've seen all this hype around Youngblood, but everything's got auto-tune and everything seems to be kind of a bit manufactured in my eyes. So it's, you know, when I compare that to something like this, which is just unique and different, you know, it's a shame artists like this don't get the kind of same hype. Although she is coming up, I think she's definitely out there now. I don't think she's doing badly at all. You know, that's why I know this song, because she's kind of being put out into the ether now. You know, people are finding her music, and yeah, she's great, and yeah, she definitely deserves the same accolade as Youngblood, I'd say. You know, for a new artist, you know, if we're celebrating new artists, new rock artists and stuff, you know, she's really good. She's really cool. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna have to wrap up the show because we're almost at 2 hours now, and I've had a great time with you guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. We played a real mixture today, and I was going to get around to playing some Dio, some Ronnie James Dio with Black Sabbath, but I'm going to save that for next week because we're going to have another great show next week, and we'll probably play quite a lot more Dio and things. But I've enjoyed the kind of selection this week. We've had a real variation of music from Kronos to Judas Priest, and now we got Echo Vandal, and everything in between. We've played a good bit of stuff, Merciful Fate, you know, all the stuff I really enjoy myself, and I hope you've enjoyed too, guys. Like I said, there's lots of tours now, 2026, there's going to be some fun shows. I'm going to have lots of things to talk about, so keep tuning in every Friday, 8 p.m. GMT time, so England time, 8 p.m. on the Friday. Saturdays as well, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So whether you're in the US, the UK, or wherever else you are around the world, you can translate the time to where you are. 8 p.m. Friday, UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the Saturday. So see you all there. I got my cats hissing here. You might have heard that noise, hissing at each other. So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Great to be here with you on Metal Stream Radio. You've been listening to the Metal Match Show. I'm here every week. And keep listening to the heavy metal. Keep celebrating. Listen to my original songs. Got plenty out there. Dancing with the Pixies coming soon. So if you enjoyed that one, keep your eyes peeled on all the platforms. And yeah, do get in contact with me if you've got any requests for the show, any songs you want me to play, stuff like that. Yeah, get in touch with me on my social medias. Metal Matt Gothic on Instagram. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks guys. Lots of love. Peace out. Bye.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Standing in Times Square with only the change in my pockets, but looking to change the world, but the world keeps walking on by.
I'm not gonna change the world, but the world keeps changing you.
I stand here every day, preaching to you, but you just look away. The word of God is too much for you. Yeah, nothing will change your point of view. Living with the truth in your eyes is much more than you recognize. Living with the truth in your eyes takes you out of the wild.